You're listening to the Warlord Radio podcast.
All right, guys. Well, welcome back to the Warlord Radio podcast. Tonight we have motherfucking KOMBAT. We got Nathan and AJ.
We have been talking about these guys for weeks. I have many questions.
Howdy.
Many questions.
Very excited to answer.
So introduce yourselves, guys, and tell people what you do in the band.
I am Nathan, and I am the vocalist.
And I'm AJ, and I play guitar.
And then who are we missing tonight?
We're missing our bassist Todd, our other guitarist Raymond, and then our drummer Grant tonight, unfortunately.
Right on. Well, shout out to those guys, but we appreciate you all coming down to participate in what we're doing. We were talking earlier, you guys kind of know the drill. We just want to keep it kind of loose and talk about a whole bunch of different shit, but we definitely want to plug your band. But before we get into that, we were just talking about how you're sporting a Carrek shirt right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And you were telling us the
like
story.
An old school Carrek
Old
shirt.
school Carrek shirt, yeah. Which is the best kind, obviously. But tell us that story about how you saw them for the first time.
Oh, yeah, that was back at, if I'm not mistaken, it was Herman Hall, probably in like 2007, 2008. I was a youngster
That's
back
one of the
then.
dorms, right? Okay.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right. Yeah, this is like...
Busted.
I know, this is way back in the day, though, so I was just a youngster. I was probably like 14, 15, had to carpool with someone up there, and that was like the first like satanic death metal-y like band I had seen, like vocal. Yeah, exactly. I was being an edgy 15-year-old kid. I was all about that shit, so yeah, it was great. Here I am.
Doing it like big, like your heroes there.
Exactly, right?
Nice.
No, but we were talking earlier about, like, there's tons of metal around this area, and everybody kind of does their own thing, but you kind of got to look for, like, the really deeply satanic shit.
Yeah, for sure, that true cult.
It's always really nice when you just stumble across it. Like, you're like, you end up in a beer barn somewhere, and then all of a sudden you start hearing, like, the most horrible lyrics you've ever heard. You're just like, fuck yeah!
Exactly.
Well, you're wearing a Devil's Daydream shirt.
Which I stumbled across. We played Krampus Fest with you guys.
Yeah.
That was the first time I'd ever seen Devil's Daydream, and they fucking blew my shit away.
Yeah, those guys were slick, for sure.
I remember distinctly, like, I showed up, loaded in my gear, because we were headlining, but there was, like, 8 or 9 bands on that bill or some shit?
Yeah, that was a stack set.
And I remember I left for a minute, and I came back, and you guys were on stage, and you were the loudest fucking band all night long. Like, and when people asked me, like, how was the show? I was like, it was great. KOMBAT was loud as fuck. Like, I could hear you guys when I was parking my car, like, across the square. It was fucking awesome.
That's honestly one of the things we've always tried to strive for, is, like, regardless of how we sound that night, as long as we were loud as fuck, we did our duty. That's for sure.
First time I ever saw you guys, I'm going to paint a picture. If you go back to, like, episode 3, we had the Shithouse dudes on, the punk rock guys.
Shout out to Dane and Mom.
To Dane and Mom. And they told some fun stories. They were pretty illegal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. Well, that's when it was just guitars, right? We didn't
it was a full band.
It was his last show.
Oh, okay, I remember that.
Yeah, because I went to go actually see Silver Tongue Devil. I had heard about you guys, but I'd never seen you before. And I think I'd met you, but I'd never seen the band. And I had the same thought that night. I was like, this band is awesome. They're loud as fuck. So yeah, man, KOMBAT's pushing the barriers for decibel pain.
Yes.
I like it.
And honestly, it's only because our bassist Todd, like, all of his gear is just so heavy and so loud. It's like he turns it up past 1, and it's like it's too much to handle.
Yeah.
So I think part of it's the drums too.
Grant
like big boy cymbals and just
You guys have gigantic fucking cymbals on that side.
and just crank like. It's just good at tuning, but it hurts. And we practice in that storage unit, just metal walls, you know?
So you're just like playing inside of a snare drum?
I'm just used to it. It's just, I need to look up how deaf I need to be exactly.
Right.
To file for...
Pretty deaf.
You know what I'm saying, man?
Those storage sheds are rough, man. I've been there.
They are.
But you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, they're cheap. So.
I mean, we've talked about that before, but it's what nobody tells you until you're there is that, like, having a practice space, like, can make or break whether you actually have a band.
Honestly, yeah. And that's
and you don't
like,
care if it's a closet with snare drum.
Yeah, honestly, that's for sure.
Like, it can be rough out there to find a place.
On top of, like, just like the spaciousness and whatever, like, just financially, it's been like, that's been one of the biggest struggles. Like, you know, it's like dating 5 other dudes, so it's trying to get, you know, matrimony or alimony or anything from 5 other dudes.
Contrary to popular belief, nobody's getting rich playing metal.
Yeah, for sure. Doing it for fun.
Right. So how long have you guys been kicking around?
Roughly, it's about a little over 2 years now, give or take. So
you guys hit the scene hard, though. I mean, like, I remember because we started Diesel Beast like 4 or 5 years ago, and that was kind of when we hit the scene. And it was like in Denton, there was 4 metal bands.
Exactly. Yeah, there's not a.
And then like you guys sprung up and immediately started making huge splashes, like playing big ass shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then like you like inspired all these other kids to start their own metal bands. Now there's like a shitload of metal bands starting to pop up.
It's really dope.
You're kind of responsible for that.
I didn't know that. I have no idea that's going on.
I don't know if it was just a timing thing or what, but I distinctly remember like, oh, KOMBAT, new metal band, rad.
Yeah.
Oh shit, there's like 8 more now.
Definitely. I feel like one of the biggest things I always did, like going into it, just like there was like, at least from my point of view, I was like a younger kid, so I couldn't get into any bars. So it's like, you know, I had no idea about any of those like bands. So essentially, I just went into it knowing like, fuck, what was I gonna say? I had something going.
It's okay.
It's like short-term memory loss.
The thing that's weird is like, we played here a couple times. I can't remember what our first show was exactly, but we just kept getting offers for more shows, and that's kind of like how I noticed. I was like, well, I guess that's good. Like, I don't know how to measure what we're doing.
Jump into it, because the only time I like visibly cursed you guys was when I saw you on the I Hate God bill. I Hate God's one of my favorite bands going back to like high school. They're not even that good.
No,
honestly.
it's just like nostalgia's sake.
Yeah, honestly. Exactly.
They got a particular sound that you're going to see. It's kind of like going to see Mayhem.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
you know what you're going for.
By any like real like assessment, Mayhem is not a good band, but they got such a unique sound, and they're originators of that scene that you got to go check it out just to experience it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's kind of the same thing with I Hate God. Very different scene and style of band, but it's the same thing. I mean, it's like part of their charm is just how rough and slow and brutal they are.
Exactly. How long they play.
We were just talking on the ride over. I whenever I want to leave work early, I'll just put on something I know people won't want to hear.
Right.
About like 2 Primitive Man songs in, they're just like, "Hey, AJ, you want to go home early?"
Right.
That's what I do.
Closing work, you put on Dope Sick, and everyone's closing as fast as they can.
That I Hate God show was probably like one of the best nights of my life. I had so much fun.
That's
I'm
awesome,
mostly
man.
curious about how you landed the gig, because like I said, you guys haven't been around that long.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, it was pure dumb luck. I saw, if I'm not mistaken, his name is Zach, and he works at Andy's, and so we've been like, you know, he's booked us a couple shows here and there. But
Zach Bullard with the tattoos.
If I'm not mistaken, I got in touch with him, and then Michael Parks, of course. Yeah. So it's like there was a couple dudes, and then we definitely, they dropped that show immediately and just said, I Hate God. That's all they had at that point. And so I immediately was just like, hey, yo, like, who's on this bill? Like, who do I need to hit up? And thankfully, you know, Michael definitely hooked us up with that a lot. He just kind of like put in a good word for us. And they had 1 or 2 other guys, but they were on tour. So we just kind of lucked out with that one.
Yeah, and I mean, that place was nuts.
That's greatness, though. I mean,
it was so great.
Great for you guys, because you got to get exposed to like a whole new crowd.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Honestly, it's one of those like small victories you get as a musician. Like, damn, I played a sold out show to 100 different faces. We sold every shirt we brought there. Like, it was one of those dreams.
Capacity
honestly.
at Andy's is 200 people, and they were turning people away at the door. So there was obviously more than 200 people there, man.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it was nuts to butts the whole time. Like,
dude, exactly. And then
so much happened that show.
That was one of the craziest shows ever. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but so
I was there, but I was blurry.
Yeah, there were so many people, it's hard to even get around. But apparently, a couple of dope heads came in at one point, and like one of them pulled a knife on the bartender. I forgot her name. The girl in Tri-County Terror. Yeah,
Erica.
Man, I wouldn't pull a knife on Erica. Erica beat 7 chicks.
That's what I'm saying. Like, nah, she's got thick fists, man. Like, that hurt like a motherfucker. So yeah, no. Apparently, like, they were trying to get a drink. They obviously looked like they were doped out. You could just tell. It's like, you know, it kind of comes with the territory. You're playing an I Hate God show, but yeah, she straight up. I saw a blade.
Well, at the same time, you're like, once you reach a certain level of fucked up, a bartender can't be like, I'm
exactly, obvious. Yeah, exactly.
The funny thing about that night was, right when we got done playing, I walked out that real scary stairs, like just walking out, and I was like just carrying a head out, and I couldn't hear anything, and like those same 3 people came up to me, and I remember I like looked at them. I was like, "Oh no, I'm already not gonna like this conversation." And they're just telling me, they're just like, "Hey man, can you like get us in? We like drove 3 hours to get here. Like we don't have any money, and they're saying it's like sold out." Damn. I didn't know what to tell them. I was like, "Oh,
that's a tough."
Sorry,
yeah,
we had like Denton metal staples that couldn't get into that show. You know what I mean?
No,
like Joe from Lamette Configuration showed up too late and couldn't get in.
Yeah,
I know. I felt bad, but
I would have straight up told the tweeters like, man, if Joe can't get in, you're fine.
Right? Yeah, for real.
No, like I said, that's greatness that you guys got to do that, and good for you for getting lucky. You know, it's nice when that type of situation works in favor of a cool band, because like so often we're on the short end of the stick as far as like getting anything thrown our way.
Like, oh, you got bumped for this acoustic Coheed and Cambria.
It's like one of those.
Well, so I've got a great story. So our drummer David, his other project Black Chamber, right?
Yeah.
So for the people that don't know that are listening, there was a club out in Fort Worth called The Rail that recently closed because the original owner was a great guy named Buster O'Keefe, and he ran a tight ship and he always treated the bands very well. And then some new owners moved in and it basically went the exact opposite direction. And that place got notorious for fucking over bands. So every year they would have the Fort Worth Metal Fest there at the Rail Club. Yeah. And it would have like several big bands like Cattle Decap. I'm forgetting who else was on the bill. I think Goat Whore and a couple of others. And then they would like pack it out with like a bunch of local bands. And then of course they'd make the local bands sell a shit ton of tickets and stuff like that.
Right.
This it's a couple of years now, but Black Chamber got it, and they were to play the first on one of the days. You know, the show would start at like 2 and go until 2 in the morning.
Right.
And then they're getting set up, and they haven't like officially like unlocked the doors yet. Like the venue is still like technically closed, and they tell Black Chamber to get started playing because it was like officially like 2 o'clock or whatever. And they're like, well, you haven't let anybody in yet. And they're like, well, the clock's ticking, and the next band starts in like 25 minutes. So
open the fucking door then, chucklehead.
Right. So made them play half their fucking set with the doors closed. And once the doors open, people flooded in and they're there. Yeah. But they had to hustle and sell tickets for that bullshit. That's the normal struggle that metal bands face.
That would piss me off.
Especially play like a top tier show like that, like, by any means. It's such a hassle.
So, you know, for it to work out in the opposite direction is badass. And then also you guys did another Denton show around that same time with Diesel Beast and Devil's Daydream and a bunch of other bands.
That was a Compass Fest.
And that was a sick ass lineup.
That was a great time.
Because I had like Worm Chasm and a bunch of bands that don't normally play Denton.
Right, exactly. It was cool seeing like half of Deep Ellum kind of coming out to like that show.
Because that was also the first time I'd ever seen Worm Chasm. Like I'd heard of them, of course, and I'd listened to them, but I'd never seen them live.
Yeah,
and they fucking crushed it. That's one of my favorite local
bands.
Yeah,
no, especially when it comes to like black metal, it's hard to find good, like decent local black metal.
And the minute that they started playing, I just like leaned over to Rogan, our drummer, and I was like, "It's black metal. It's real fucking black metal."
And it's so funny outside of it because Steven Jeter, like, dude, he's the nicest guy. He's always rocking the biggest smile on his face. And so it's like it's so crazy watching him go or seeing him go up on stage and immediately just turn into like it was just some real.
That's probably why he's the happiest guy. He gets it all out.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to drain the fucking system.
That's my theory about metalheads is you know. I get told all the time, it's like, you guys are so nice, you guys are so nice. It's like, it's because we fucking scream about murder and shit.
We get all of our
45 minutes a night, it's fine, you know what I mean? Or if we're still like feeling aggressive, we'll jump in the pit for a bit. Like,
that's
it's
for sure.
okay.
Yep, that's for sure.
We get it out. We don't just walk around pent up.
That's how you get a serial killer. All about transferring energy.
Exactly.
I think the death metal thing, like just a observance that I've had in playing around is that like Texas is like stupid rich in death metal bands.
We're too spoiled when it comes to that shit.
And it's like you go to other states and it is so not the case that there's like fucking a death metal band that's good within a stone's throw.
Right, exactly. It's like
we went and we played up a metal fest up in Detroit, and it was how down here it's like there are black metal bands, but you got to hunt for them, and they're really not that common. And then we got to see a death metal bands, and at least for us, what we saw is the further north you go, the more flipped that is. Because we played a festival that was like 3/4 black metal bands, and everybody had corpse paint, and everybody had spikes.
The colder it gets.
Yeah, and then there was like one death metal band, and they were the Outsiders.
Like, we're from Florida.
Yeah, right.
I grew up in Kentucky, and I remember in high school is when I started going to shows because my buddy was in a hardcore band, and I thought, like, for the longest time that DIY was only hardcore. That's the only shows that there were in Louisville.
Yeah.
And I remember coming down here and I was like, oh my god, there's everything.
Yeah.
I was like, there's everything.
There's DIY break-in.
It's crazy.
I can go to a Dungeon Synth show.
Yeah.
This is sick. This is sick.
Honestly, the future.
No, we got lucky, and it hasn't always been like this. Craig and I talk about, because we've been around for a minute, like, there are peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
Within, like,
The scene is always changing.
Yeah.
It's like what's true today is going to be different tomorrow.
Right.
And I mean, like, 5 years ago, the deck was stacked with death metal bands and shit, but now I'm starting to realize that people are starting to stretch out. They're starting to diversify a little bit more. You're getting a lot of, like, more weird shit. Like, we just interviewed the dude Charles from A Killer's Vision.
Yeah.
And his whole deal is he does, like, horrorcore and just chops up mannequins.
It's
Right.
like performance art.
Exactly.
I'm totally down for that shit.
Because that's like his heart and soul right there. And it's like, you know, it's the same
Exactly.
thing. Like every single band that I see out here, it's like you see like everyone's personal taste and like influence, and that's what I love about like this whole scene. Is like, you know, it doesn't have to be a band or a list of just like death metal bands on a set list. You know, we can have a little nice mix. And
Yeah, but that was the whole reason I started Diesel Beast. Is I was like, I love all metal. I love all metal, but my favorite shit is that like Nwabum, like Tigers of Pantera.
yeah, I feel you.
And I was like, if I want to hear that live,
Angel
I'm gonna have
Witch.
to do it.
Yes,
fucking
dude,
Angel Witch,
is
dude.
the shit, man.
Angel Witch is so badass. That song, Angel Witch, is
It
so
those licks
fucking
are so
great.
I fucking love Angel Witch, dude.
You know, Grant always says that too. He's just like, play what you want to hear.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
like, you know, sometimes you just don't think about that.
Yeah,
You just get
definitely.
lost in it.
You try and appease everyone else.
Try
You
and be true
to
cult.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
You forget what you want to do.
It's so weird, like writing music, because I don't know like what your guys' process is, but mine is just messed up. Like sometimes it's 3 days in a row I'm cranking out everything, and then sometimes it's a month.
Yeah,
Where I just
same
like
way.
sit, where I just
Yeah.
sit there and don't play my guitar. And I'm just
So how's
Not feeling it.
it work for you guys? Like when you guys do songs, because right now you guys have got an EP demo out. It's
That's louder than hell.
It's just called The Monument of Flesh. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, it is sick. I just listened to the full Bandcamp demo again today,
Thank you.
just to
Yeah.
listen to it again. I mean, I've heard it several times, but I just wanted to get reacquainted. And I got a secondary question about how songs will change as you play them live, just like in subtle ways. But I wanted to get to like how does it work for you all? Like AJ, do you mainly like churn out a bunch of riffs and then show it to the guys, or are the songs totally completed, or like what's it work for you guys?
So when we wrote the demo, like funny enough, it's a really crazy story. Like I just literally that summer I really started to get into like death metal, and then I just really like Grant got into it with me at the same time, and so
Was there like a particular band or group of bands that just like blew your mind?
There was a lot, because I mean, I was just listening to a bunch of thrash at that point, pretty much Entombed. Like,
Yeah.
Entombed changed my life.
Oh,
I heard that.
so good.
And
Yeah,
I was
I was
like,
about to say that's a good band to change.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Entombed, Dismember, Death. I mean, we just got into all the classics.
Yeah.
I mean, Grant fell in love with Death, and I mean, just for that whole year.
That's fucking outstanding.
Have you
bro.
checked out Grave?
I have.
Oh, fucking Grave is so good.
Yeah, but,
I fucking love that shit.
But we wrote, I think I wrote 4 songs that we just completely whipped out of our ass, like, in a week. Just got 4 songs done, and then I think Ray and I put together the last 2. But normally it's crazy. Either I'll come up with riffs, Ray will come up with riffs. Like, sometimes even Grant will come up with riffs. Like, Grant has a bass in his guitar, like a guitar, like, just in his room. That guy just literally lived, like...
He is music.
He's music
Right.
like 24/7, like to a point almost to like living with him. And I'm just like, oh my god, I need to sleep. Like,
Right.
I can't hear this much music.
Like
But
I walked in his house today and literally like he wasn't expecting me at all, and I would just bust in the door and he's literally just sitting in the dark playing his fucking guitar with no shirt on. It's like, how long have you been sitting here, dude? How long are you gonna be sitting
I
here?
don't know, man. What day is it?
That's awesome.
But
Guys.
yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed about the quality of the demo because it was
Same.
recorded in that storage unit on GarageBand, so it's really bad.
Ah.
Especially walking in here. And
I mean,
seeing all
it's,
You guys can get
it's a
away
demo.
with that
Yeah,
shit.
it was
though,
real
you know?
Yeah,
DIY
we-
shit for sure.
we were just so tired of playing all those songs and writing stuff, and we're just like, we just need to get something out. Like, we're playing shows, we just got to get something out.
Yeah.
But we have 2 done, like, finally, completely. We got 1 done a long time ago, and then the second song is, I really like the second song, but they're both, like, longer than our previous ones. We're kind of going more, I don't know, just
Like more progressive or more epic or like
more just dirty.
Yeah.
That's the only
Okay.
word. More just
yeah.
you just
So I
showing
was
that
about to
I
say,
hate
you
God
guys
influence.
Don't just play like straight up death metal, in my opinion. Like you can hear a lot of thrash in there. You can hear a little bit of sludge in there, and I'm talking like low life butthole surfing sludge. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like there's a lot of influences in there. So like, and then you turn it into this cohesive, heavy ass, loud as fuck sound. So I mean, whatever you're doing, you're obviously doing it right.
The chemistry's there. That's for
It's-
sure.
Because that's another thing I've noticed about you guys is that you don't sound like everybody else on the scene. Like a combat song sounds like a fucking combat song.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
So you don't always get that. So like there are a few times, and I'm not naming names just because I don't fucking remember your band, but I've been to a bunch of shows where I'm like, every band on this bill sounds exactly the fucking
Yeah.
same.
Right.
For sure.
And yeah, I mean, I noticed that especially when we played Krampus Fest, because like I said, there was like 9 fucking bands on that bill,
Yeah.
and none of us really sounded like the other bands.
Yeah,
Very
no, it was a
different,
sick
very
show.
mixed pool. That was crazy.
It really was, and I distinctly were like, because I remember getting out of my car, like I said, I could hear you from across the square, and I was like, that's combat.
That's great. I think honestly a lot of that really attests to, I mean, just as much as like all of our like music taste is diverse, or like we try to appease multiple crowds, I guess. So it's like, I mean, obviously we're playing a hardcore show later in
Yeah,
April. We're
I was
playing-
going to say that. Like, it seems like you guys do a lot of shows and fit in well with both the death metal kids and the hardcore crowd.
And that's definitely like one thing I've always like tried to strive for. Cause like we got our huge break was in the hardcore scene, was like, cause that was all that was in Denton as far as I knew. Cause all we had was Killer's Tacos, cause J&J's was closed at that point.
Yeah.
So
How many times have we played Killers?
fucking too many goddamn times to count, man. So,
I've talked mad shit about that place on this show.
I like it.
Real
I
talk,
like
That's what everybody says. I don't. I think it's a fucking dumpster fire. but it's fine.
It is. It all depends on the crowd for sure. There's
Yeah.
like it all because like it's all self promotion. It's a free spot, so you got to do it. And if you can hustle it for sure, like I've seen that place busted out with 40, 50 people.
Yeah.
But that's at hardcore shows where it's like
Yeah.
these people are diehard about their scene, so
Right.
They're
Yeah.
gonna pull out.
And I have noticed that like scene shows at Killer's Tacos always go pretty well. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
kind of like, this is a regular rock and roll show.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
no, I didn't.
Right, yeah,
can't
plot
do that.
twist, homie. And then you see like little like families walking in trying to eat tacos, and there's kids like crowd killing all over everyone. So it's just like that's a little interesting.
Amazing, just little Timmy kicking somebody's teeth out of their fucking head.
For real,
I was just
honestly.
feeling the music,
Yeah,
Mom.
dude. Honestly.
What are those, Mom?
But
Those are the
yeah, so it's like, we try and definitely like, because of course we love like the punk scene, we love metal, we love the grindcore scenes. Like we'll play with anyone with like anywhere as long as like, the homies are going to be
Yeah,
there.
and
It's going to be
but
a good time.
it's not weird or jarring. Like I can see you
definitely.
fitting in with any of those crowds because you have this kind of like, it's a pretty diverse sound. You know what I mean?
Like we call it death metal, but I remember like we talked forever. Like what do we?
Right.
Are we honestly didn't
That's-
like we still don't know.
That's the $1 million
Like, yeah.
question. That's like the fucking hardest thing. Like that and like trying to figure out a band name.
Oh,
Are
yeah.
like some of the hardest things because a lot of times people will judge you based on what we sound like, okay, then you sound like this. And it's
Right,
like, well,
right.
not exactly.
really?
But, I
like
mean,
a
we
blend,
definitely in the
yeah.
ballpark,
Right, right.
But, it is a tricky question. Like, I gave up, like, long time ago.
Right, trying to
Silvertone
try to-
Devil sounds like Voivod if Voivod didn't suck.
I can dig that.
I can dig that. I like one boy.
I think he hates it when I say that, but I don't care.
I like Voivod for what it's worth, but I appreciate the compliment. But no, I just mean in general, it's like, I was like, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's cool.
Right,
It's
exactly.
like, but
So my problem is Diesel Beast. We think we're metal.
you are. You're
That's what I
100%.
think.
I mean, yeah, you definitely.
You guys are 100. You guys
so
are
many
100%.
motherfuckers calling us hard rock
There's
bands.
a spectrum. There's a beautiful
it's a
spectrum.
beautiful
Like,
spectrum.
I mean, look, there's gonna be idiots around no matter what. I mean, that's just
What I've noticed,
fact of life.
if you
It's
don't-
like, but my point is, and I've said it before, is like, I love all kinds of metal and like underground music and all that kind of stuff. And I love it when bands are super brutal and heavy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you are no more metal than Ronnie James Dio. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck how many blast beats you play. You're not more metal than Bob
I'm not gonna pretend like I don't love writing songs about dragons. Like, that's what I like doing.
That's metal as fuck. like epic soaring vocals are metal as fuck.
That's like all I can imagine. Like all of us growing up, we saw like, it looked like Molly Hatchet looking ass covers. That's all I saw in my mind was fucking Vikings and like dragons, like D&D shit.
That aesthetic is what I built this entire band around. I was like, that's the shit that I love. I love shitty Roger Corman movies. I love like 80s sword and sorcery flicks. I love Dio. I love Sabbath. I love Maiden. I love everything else about metal, but that's what I zoned in on. Man.
But that's every bit.
People call us hard rock.
They're just stupid.
Which is like, you would have called like Maiden and like, Judas Priest. All that shit was metal at that point. So it's like that's kind of in the ballpark of what y'all like sound to me. So it's like that's metal as fuck. I guess
that's what I thought. But usually it's people that don't know shit about metal. They're
the elitism in the death metal scene is just beyond. Like it's so
we had to jump that hurdle early on.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is true. Should point out that the elitism goes the other way. That there's people that will hear like guttural vocals and be like, that's not music, that's not metal.
Yeah, like that's
horseshit.
It's like there's definitely haters on all sides.
Exactly.
And to me, it's just like they're all stupid because I mean, it's like there's definitely good and bad bands in any camp or whatever. But I mean, I've seen some amazing death metal shows.
Right.
I've seen some amazing hardcore shows. I've seen some amazing like classic metal shows.
It's art. It's art. Art is,
My buddy told me something one time that just made me like just clicked with me for some reason. He was just like, "Yeah, dude, so music's just kind of supposed to be fun."
Yeah, thank you.
I was like, dude, you're right. And I remember after that, because like sometimes like I have a couple bands on my phone that like I wouldn't be open to talk about with you guys, but like,
We've all been there.
But like everybody's got that, and it's like.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll judge the shit out of you for that.
Yeah. I'll rock some Kate Bush. I'll rock some.
That's why I want to
walk about.
I ain't scared, dog.
Right?
No, the Insane Clown Posse has been making me laugh since I was 13 years old. And, I mean, I'm not a juggalo, but they still make me fucking laugh.
Yeah.
You guys can't see it, but Carrek is drinking Faygo right now.
Yeah, diet Faygo.
Do you mind if I grab another Faygo?
No, that's honestly Insane Clown Posse is one of the funniest things to me. So when I was in like middle school, so 6th through 8th grade, I was a straight up juggalo, dude. I was like 12 through 14 years old.
I
And
would
like,
love to see 12-year-old.
I've got a picture.
I didn't believe him when he told me that.
So, yeah, no one believes me because it was a very dark point in my life.
I didn't want to believe.
Like I was just like the fat angry kid. My parents got divorced, and I was just pissed off at the world.
That's the perfect
and
story.
That's the time I was in the ICP. So of course, I knew
that's the target audience right there, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
That dude just homies.
And so now it's like, after I got out of it, I was like, those guys are fucking lame. But now it's just so nostalgic. And it's like, all the hate, it's like, I was there at one point. I was rocking.
It's all good, man.
It's so fun.
I went to a Juggalo gathering.
No shit.
Okay.
I still want to go. That sounds honestly pretty fun.
Dark part of my past that I don't think I've talked about on this show yet, but I had a buddy of mine. Let's say he's a. Holy fuck! That is a Juggalo picture.
He's not.
That is
damn. So there's even like a double wide trailer in the background.
That is great.
Straight out the trailer park, dog.
No, but I used to be in a fucking hip hop group.
Oh, no shit,
I
that's
rapped
cool.
with a dude, and it was like more for fun because I like hip hop, but I'm not like super into it, and I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
But he got us on a gathering in like North Little Rock, Arkansas.
That's so dope.
Not Little Rock, North Little Rock.
That's
like
primo
rat
Juggalo
tail country.
territory.
That's what all the
But you got
meth is.
stories.
Yeah.
No, I do. It was weird. We show up to just a giant field. And there's two flatbed trucks like backed up to each other, and as we're pulling in, I'm like, $10 says that's the stage.
That's a great feeling though. Like I love the dirtier the venue, honestly, the more I want to play there.
Oh, we had a fucking blast, and there was a ton of fucking people there, man. Like,
That's what's up.
It was fucking crazy, but I distinctly remember two things happening. One, in this band, we had a bit where we ripped off our pants and had these giant, 3-foot fake cocks.
Hell yeah.
And some juggalette in the front row grabbed my cock and I couldn't move. Because like I kept trying to like move around because I had like bits to do on stage and shit. Like, and she just got a death grip on this fucking thing. And I finally wrestled my giant fake dick away from this girl, and then like 2 more jump on stage and start grinding on us and shit. And I'm like, I guess she was trying to be hot, but again, I'm like, I have a giant fake cock strap, and I can't feel it.
Right. It's like you look like Violent J. I don't know if I'm down with this.
So we're coming to the end of our set, and we finally we have this one song called "Butt Ugly Booty Call."
Hell
and at first the girls didn't get the joke, so they were like grinding on us real hard and shit. And then like you could see one of them like she actually starts listening to the lyrics that we're singing. She's like, "Oh fuck, we need to get off stage now."
Oh damn,
That's why
it was nuts. And then I look over and they didn't have any stage lights, so they just had a bunch of cars set up with their headlights on.
True Juggalo form.
It's true Juggalo form. And I look down in the car close to the stage, and there's at least 6 people fucking in the back of the van.
Oh shit!
At that point, I was like, I'm not a Juggalo.
Yeah.
I'm not a rapper. I will book any one of these shows that comes my way. And I never want to forget this experience.
That's for real, dude.
Were the orgy people all in clown makeup?
There were a couple of people in the truck or in the car that had makeup on. Yeah, that's
fairly disturbing.
Using fake
it was the most Juggalo shit. Like the first dude I ran into at this place had like fucking yellow contacts in and those shitty cornrows that aren't even real cornrows.
Like the white trash cornrows.
The white trash cornrows. And he was wearing like a fucking Union shirt or some shit, and I was just like, okay, man. And he hands me a blunt and a Faygo, and I was like, I guess we're doing this where we're at now.
Now you're in.
We had a blast, but yeah, that was Short Bus. We have videos online. I'm not gonna tell you. If you want to see those, go look for them. But we do.
They're out there.
We have the song "Look at Giant Fake Cocks." Like that's recorded. So find that one.
If Diesel Beast ever blows up, you might have to hide that shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Fuck that. I run from nothing.
So, speaking of shitty venues, what would probably be the shittiest venue you guys have played?
Right,
like, what's been the most brutal?
Or when I say
not
shitty,
necessarily shitty.
When I say shitty, I don't mean I don't mean like,
you mean it with affection. I get you.
I don't mean I don't like that place. But
No, I mean, look, there's some shitholes that we've had great times
like
at.
that place with the rope elevator that drags all your fucking gear up on a string with a
Bonds.
Yeah,
Bonds is legit. Bonds is legit. San Antonio.
That sounds lit.
Oh yeah, it's right on the river.
Like, they put all your gear on like a fucking piece of particle board and lift it up with a fucking shaft on a rope.
Oh my
god!
God.
Like I would kill somebody if that's
it's greatness. You guys got to go down in San Antonio, and there's a place called Bonds. And it's right on the Riverwalk, and it's a badass 2-story old school venue. And like it was obviously something else before it was a venue. And the whole downstairs is a metal bar that someone has mural painted just metal icons everywhere. So like one whole wall is like Ronnie James Dio album cover, and then they've got like a dime bag, and then they got Kerry King and Jeff Hanneman over here, and just like posters and black lights and everything.
That sounds sick.
Sounds like my bedroom when I was 13.
Yes, exactly. And then the upstairs part is the bar where the bands play. And the upstairs stage, they've totally renovated, and it's really nice. It's totally kick-ass, got like professional lighting rig and like built-in stage monitors that like you could like step over. Super nice. But to get your gear upstage, you have to use an old-school dumbwaiter, where literally you'll wheel all of your gear onto this rickety contraption that like when you step on it, you're like, oh fuck, this thing's gonna go down like 100 feet.
Oh my god!
And you got to do that, and then they close it, and then you walk upstairs. And then a guy pulls a lever, and it slowly goes, and then you get it, like, pull your shit off. And every time, you're just like, man, I hope this just doesn't kill our band.
Yeah, right.
Because it's over if everything gets destroyed.
Destroy all our gear.
All of our gear.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know how crazy. Like,
I would walk my ass up the stairs with my combo amp and my bass.
On my back. Back strapped on the motherfucker.
If you get Grant's drums, he's coming for you.
Oh, dude, for one time I dropped his cymbal at Killers, dude, and he gave me a fucking death stare, dude. I thought I was going to fall down. I was scared.
You dropped literally the most expensive thing.
It was straight up the most expensive. I was like, I wouldn't blame me if you hit me right now. Honestly.
I'm going to let you do this.
Wait, what about you guys? What are some memorable venues?
So
Killer's Tacos, right?
Yeah, Killer's is pretty fun.
But we played greasier.
We played some pretty shitty places. I mean, honestly, like Greasy. When it comes to it, the first time we ever played the Final Frontier, which was Emma from Imperial Slaughter, Vault Dweller.
Oh, so much
that was her dad's place, and so it was just like a backyard out in Oak Cliff. You know, it's just like the hood. There's a bunch of just like strand lights everywhere.
Oh yeah, and I'm very familiar with Oak Cliff.
And so we walk in, and immediately Emma's like, "Hey guys, listen, there's an infestation out in the backyard of like ticks and shit." So she's like, they're like at the front door, there's just like 10 bottles of fucking like
You
bug
never
spray.
fucking hear that when you walk into a venue. Like, hey, watch out for the ticks.
Nobody told me that show, and I was already streets. Nobody told me that.
He's like, I'm finding out here on Warlord Radio.
Like 8 times. I probably got ticks all over me.
It's like a blind disease, you don't even know it.
Oh
It was
my
ticks
God.
or fleas or something. But yeah, dude, so it's like they had like 10 bottles of just Raid.
Thanks for letting me know about that.
On you. So that was our like. So it's
He's like, what?
that was probably like the greasiest. Like when it comes to it, but it's like arguably one of the funnest shows I've ever had.
Oh yeah, sometimes like I said, the greasy. If you think I didn't have fun at the Juggalo gathering,
Yeah, right.
then you're totally wrong.
And the shit house is close.
Yeah, and the
second.
shit
I was
house.
gonna say shit house.
Fucking second. The shed and
That fucking because when I saw you guys at the shit house, first off, it was so hot in there I could taste.
Dude, and all I could smell was that dog. All I could smell was that dog. It's like, I love that puppy, bro.
Yeah, it was musty up in that motherfucker, and like you said, the dog. There was just a pit.
Yeah.
In the pit. And he was happy as shit all
That's a
night.
good dog.
Yeah, man, that dog was having a great
That was,
time just slamming with everybody.
And that one night we did play there one time. We didn't have a bass player and didn't.
Alex
Yeah,
did.
we played
Alex
Black
did
Magic.
Black Magic.
Yeah,
with
that
you
was
guys.
so much
That was
fun.
such a good time.
I remember before that ever since I saw you guys live, I just kept staring at his just custom shop EC Rich. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a sick guitar. And that show when he just took it out of the case and he just handed it to me. I remember I looked at it.
I look at Alex's guitar and I'm like, that's what happens when you're a metalhead and you go to college.
Right. And you got shit figured out.
No, but I remember just looking at him. I'm like, are you sure? Like, are you really sure?
And Alex is such a hype man. I love watching him on stage.
that
Like, he has
guy.
the biggest fucking grin all day. And just like,
We make fun of him for that shit all the time. It's like, you're playing metal, quit smiling.
And then, like, oh man, some of the stories I heard from Logan, y'all's old drummer back in the day, some of the stories I heard about Alex on tour and shit sounded crazy. That dude sounds like a crazy
Dude,
time.
yeah,
Yes.
The Serbian shredder, dude.
The fucking first night that I ever like really hung out with Alex, we had just hooked up with Silver Tongue. We were playing a show at the Double Wide.
Yeah.
And Alex, they have these toilets lined up with plants and shit in them on the back.
Oh, the double
smoking
wide.
porch.
Yeah, that's a good time.
Alex got so fucking wasted that without even thinking, he just like puked and then pissed in one of the fucking toilets. And it's like, this is a planter. It's like, take a review.
Well, it's like, it was open. So.
Right?
We've had our fair share of puking before shows.
Especially at the double wide. I've
Yeah,
heard a couple
man.
times
Yeah.
out there. That's a fun
Remember the
stuff.
Rumplemans?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, you
Yeah.
youngins.
Ray just had this bottle of Rumplemans just in his freezer for like just months, and eventually we're just like, you know what, why not? And that was about.
I can give you several reasons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially before a set, dude. And this was like back when we were like back in the Killer's Tacos days, so we were nervous every time we were going
Right.
to jump up on stage.
I puke every time,
He
even
puked
before.
Yeah, he pukes almost every time, regardless. So yeah,
No
it's
shit.
just-
Yeah.
Not
No,
recent-
I'm not
recently,
cracking
yeah.
on you. Like, no, we all deal with our nerves in different ways. I punch stuff. Like, if you
Oh, me
ever
too.
if you ever watch me at a show or something like that, every
Yeah.
time I walk by like a door frame or something, I'll just reach out and fucking punch it like straight up knuckle on fucking wood.
Yeah.
I don't know why I do that, but I've been doing that shit since I was like 13 years
You
old.
gotta get hyped, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
you
You gotta
We do. We'll huddle around in a circle,
Yeah.
and I just started this like one day. We were just in Dallas, and I don't know why I did this, but we just huddle around in a circle. And I was like, all right, guys, just repeat after me. And we're like, kill.
That would get me hyped up as shit.
Yeah, it makes you want to kill.
He straight up does a Woe Bundy. Like,
That's
Woe Bundy!
That's badass. That's cool as fuck.
That's great. We don't have anything near that.
You don't, because you're not real friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm calling you out, Alex.
Nah.
I'm not. I love Alex to death. But I don't know. It's so weird. You guys, like I said earlier, you haven't been around that long. You made such a massive splash in the scene to where, like, I feel if KOMBAT broke up tomorrow, like, it would be noticed. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
We'd be like, oh shit, KOMBAT's not around anymore. And that was the thing that pissed me off about the I Hate God show, is you did break up.
Yeah, we were
and you still were on that show.
That, honestly, that show alone is like what basically like brought Grant back, because like Grant for a while, it's like obviously it's like, you know, talking to a bunch of 5 greasy stoner dudes all day. It's like, you know, sometimes we're late on rent, sometimes we can't practice, and it's like, you know, schedules happen, fucking shit like that happens. So it was just a point where it's like he saw for himself what we can fucking do. Yeah. And that was just like, he was like, I'm never gonna leave. And like, honestly, he told me a story about, so the other night, you know, we lost, you know, Mike Vest.
Yeah, shout out to Mike Vest.
Shout out to Rice, pour some out, love that dude.
He's one of the coolest motherfuckers
Definitely.
on the scene.
He said that night that Mike grabbed Grant by the shoulders and he was like, dude, if you fucking skip out on this, you're missing the chance on being in the next fucking Pantera, man. And that shit floored me, because like Mike has been like, he was one of our first homies. He was at that first Final Frontier show like 2 years ago, so it's like that dude was just a diehard. So
he always has been.
That for the entire DFW scene,
the last like the last 2 days of just
it was brutal finding out.
Nathan called me, like I was just out somewhere. It didn't really even hit me till like the next morning. I remember I just got up and worked, just bawling my eyes out. And people were laughing at me at work, and I was like, you know what, I don't even care. Like,
shut the fuck
up. It was weird because I literally just saw him on Saturday night at the Metal Fest.
Exactly.
That's like gave him a big hug and saw him, and you know, it's like
and he just, you know, Mike, just such a good guy, and like just every time you hung out with him, you just weren't thinking about, oh, this is gonna be the last time I see Mike. You're just literally enjoying him because he's just such a good, you know, such a good person.
That's what he was. He was a positive energy. I remember the first time I ever met him, we were playing at Reno's with like fucking Flesh Welder and Brutality. Brutality's kind of got a Slipknot, not Brutality. Is that the? I don't remember. Kind of got a Slipknot vibe. A lot of masks.
They're rocking the masks. That's kind of cool. I've thought about that a time or two.
Yeah, but we were getting shit on by some drunk fucking dickhead, and I was standing, I guess it was a Crop Dust show too, because Abel was there, and I was standing backstage with Abel and Mike, and the dude came up and he's like, you guys are in the fucking Wizard Band, right? You better not suck, or some shit like that. And Mike was just like, man, you don't know shit, just fucking wait. Like, just fucking wait. And then we started playing, and I saw Mike get up in this dude's face and be like, I told you, bitch, I told you. I was just like, from that point on, I was like, this guy's fucking awesome.
He's such a hype beast.
And I think the last time I saw him was when we were at Metal Fest the other night.
Yeah, we saw him right before Denton's set with Barrage.
Yeah.
That was fun where we may or may not have smoked a jazz cigarette.
That's what, when in Rome. When you're hanging out with Denton, you know you're fucking hanging out partying. That's what I do.
I love that guy.
Dude, it's crazy watching his differentiation between like Beer Break and the Barrage. Like you can totally see like Barrage, like, I mean, not to say that Beer Break is not serious, but Barrage is obviously like, he takes it a little bit more like, he's a little bit more steadfast.
Well, he's not like chugging.
He's not chugging a sixer of Coors Light on fucking stage. Like, you know, so it's crazy. And then you see him in Beer Break, and he's literally throwing up in a trash can on stage with like the mic in his hand. Like, I love that dude. He's so funny.
We played a show with Barrage just a couple of weeks ago out in Fort Worth. Yeah. And they played their set, and then people were chanting for an encore, but they didn't have any more songs. So since it's mostly the same dudes in Beer Break anyway, there's only like one or two different like spots.
Right.
Is they did like 3 songs by Beer Break, and all, for people that don't know, Beer Break's like a beer-themed crossover band, so their songs are like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So they played like 3 songs in like 5 minutes just back to back.
But before Cliff Thrash, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
But before they did that, he had to get like 5 beers from the bar. He's like, bring up like 5 beers, and he's like chugging them real quick, and then they do the songs. So
it's
like
awesome. You can't do it without the beer.
Yeah, exactly. He has to harness that energy or something. Yeah, for real.
I need to be at least 5 deep before I can even talk this shit.
Yeah. Be on the verge of people.
Well, he was telling me that when he played this show with Barrage that we saw him at, and that was my first time to see Barrage, and they were awesome. But I saw him after the set, and he was like, man, I was nervous as shit. And I was like, why? He's like, well, I was sober. He's like, I can remember.
No, that's harder than you think, man. Because I don't really like getting on stage 100% sober. I have crossed the threshold of getting up on stage super fucked up.
Yeah,
though I don't really do that
not
anymore.
sober enough. Yeah, that one's not fun.
But I don't like getting on sober. But there was a show I was super late for and had to get on. Like I unloaded my car onto the stage and I had to play. I didn't have time to get a beer or anything. And I just remember I was like, "What are these strings for? Why the fuck are all these people looking at me? I don't like this at all."
Yeah, no, one of the another shithole place we played, fun place, Casa de Locos, which is in Oak Cliff. It's run by a bunch of
you guys spend a lot of time in like
there?
fucking
dude, I love the grease, dude. We've just gotten so greasy over the past 2 years.
Trade winds?
Yes, love trade winds. Love trade winds, dude. Oh my gosh.
Trade winds, Oak Cliff.
Yeah, but we played it at Casa de Locos a couple weeks ago, and I don't know, we jumped up on stage, and I was like, we're about ready, but I didn't feel drunk enough, to like play. So I slammed like half a beer, and then this dude Marshall Patterson threw me a Blood and Honey, and I saw that, and I was like, yeehaw! So
those are like 8.6 or some shit.
It got me pretty good. And so we got like 30 minutes into it. We have like our intro, and then we go into our first song. And as soon as we hit that
30-minute intro,
30 second, my bad, 30-second intro. We went from the intro into the first song, and as soon as I started singing, I was like, I felt a little bit of throw up in my mouth. I was like, I swallowed it back down. I was like, I'm good. This happened before, and it happened like 2 more times. So I literally dropped the mic and just ran through the pit, and I knew where the bathroom was, so I just blew chunks, and then like obviously just ran back on stage like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
later.
it's pretty funny, just playing, and I don't look up too often. I like to, and I just look up. I was like, where is Nathan?
Where'd he go?
It's so funny too, because I remember I ran into you like right before we went on, and you were just like, "Hey man, do you want a beer?" And I was like, "Oh no, dude, I'm not feeling too good." And you're just like, "Oh no, man, a beer will help you feel better."
Yeah, it's like plot twist for I played myself that one. Yeah. Played myself.
Like, wait, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
So how do you all get to shows? Do you all just caravan everywhere?
It's a fun caravan.
So I mean, thankfully, up until recently, our bassist Todd finally got a van. So we're hoping in the future that's what we'll be using.
Why is it always the bassist? Because I'm looking into getting a van now because everybody in Diesel Beast doesn't want to get a fucking van.
Because they always got the thickest gear, the thickest cabs.
I don't though. I have the least amount of gear of anybody in this fuck. I have that
true.
little orange purse.
Oh damn, that's
a
true.
fucking Thunderbird, man.
I don't
One
know.
pedal.
I don't know. That's a good question.
These fucking assholes
I know,
gonna be
right?
rolling
I
in with
know.
all their bullshit.
You've had so much like just bad luck with trying to get to shows too.
Yeah,
like Nathan
dude.
used to have this old huge truck,
Yeah.
and it would never break down unless it was a day of a show.
Unless it was day.
Yeah,
exactly.
it was just
And that was terrible. And so yeah, pretty much we like caravan. It's all like it all has to be like coordination between like who can carry what because one person's car is out of commission at one time or another, and it's just so back and
I
forth.
can fit a full stack in a Honda Accord. I'm pretty proud of that.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. That's no bullshit.
It's fun. It's fun though.
But I mean, because your drummer has a fucking massive kit.
Yeah, so he always rolls just by himself. At that point, he just knows.
The same, your bass player's got like your bass player. Honestly, like you can tell him I said this shit. Like he doesn't need all that shit. I've done that, dude. I used to have like a 1900 watt Galen Kruger fucking stack. It was amazing. I switched to a 50 watt orange combo amp. It does the same fucking thing with a stage mic. I'm just saying.
If I was rocking some Sun though, I'd be pulling.
But it makes you happy.
Sure.
Right.
That's for damn sure. And that's a very good point, AJ. If it makes you happy.
You walk into Todd's house and like you open the door and there's literally just 12 cabinets.
Yeah, that's all there's.
Actually, that would be a very like if I walked into that every day, that would make me happy. I'd like that. My wallet.
It's like what am I picking today? What's my choice? That's good stuff.
Right on. We are going to take a quick break so I can get tobacco in my body, and then we will be right back with KOMBAT. We are going to try and get a song from them, but our track record shows that you got about a 50-50 shot of that. Stay tuned for more Warlord Radio.
And we're back on
Welcome.
Warlord Radio.
Ah, you cut my line off.
I did.
What the fuck, man? I thought we were a team, Craig.
Nope, fuck you. It's all about me.
Damn it.
Damn.
Well, anyway, right before we came back on, we were talking about shirts. And for those of you not in the know, for those of you not truly cult with a V, KOMBAT has some of the baddest shirts on the scene, actually. Like, you guys have great fucking shirts.
Thank you so much, dude.
Who is it that does the art for your shirts?
So he's a friend of ours named Will Mecca is his name. He puts on a lot of shows at J&J's. He's putting on a Night of Death, which is on 420 this week, but he's putting on a third one later. But it's like he's been bringing a lot of death metal to Denton lately. And
Will's
been
the
really
man.
Nice.
See, and these guys had this fucking sick ass run of red and black shirts. It was their original run of shirts, and I wanted one real bad, but they literally like flew out of your fucking hands.
Yeah, they're pretty quick, that's for sure.
And then they got the genius idea to print them in neon green with a big ass pot leaf on the back of them. And I like hauled ass over to their booth, and they still ran out before I got there.
They glow in the dark too.
They do.
I know.
So we
What
made
the fuck?
420's right around the corner, that's for sure.
So where is the 420 show?
So our 420 show is going to be at the Fabrication Yards out in Dallas. So it's like this.
I don't even know what that place is.
So I don't really know.
Is
much
it
about
like literally just a metalwork?
It's literally a metal shed. So my homie Will Collins.
We gotta go to that show, right?
My homie Will Collins is his name. He's in this band called the Ellen Degenerates. And
Yeah.
so it's like super punky band.
Yeah.
So he put on a show there a couple months back, and it was just a fucking hit. It was for his birthday, and it was just he talked to the guys that own the Fabrication Yard, and he was like, "Hey, just want to put on a show. Like, you know, we're just gonna BYOB, nothing, like not a big deal." And it was just a party. Like they were up there till like 2 a.m, just having a great time. And so he wanted to do it again for 420.
Nice.
And so we got on there, thankfully. And then I actually got one of my homies from Denton, who's he's a glass blower, so he's gonna be out at the Fabrication Yards as well, straight up just blowing glass and selling like pipes and shit, tobacco pipes.
Right?
And we might need to watch it. I think KOMBAT's trying to start like an institution here. They're gonna be like, man, do you remember back when we were small and we had to hang out with Silver Tongue Devil?
Not at all.
honestly, it has felt like that for a minute though, because like we haven't played a show in forever. It's like we used to play shows like weekend after weekend together for a minute.
Isn't it weird how you'll go through spurts where you're playing all the fucking time and you feel like you're crushing it, and then you'll take like 2 weeks off, and you will feel like you are sleeping.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's crazy.
It's crazy. We're working on our EP right now, so we're just now starting to gig again after like a almost 2-month hiatus, I guess, from gigging. Really, like, and yeah, that entire 2 months, I'm just sitting there like twiddling my thumbs on Friday and Saturday, like I should fucking be somewhere right now.
Exactly.
That's basically been all this month.
Yeah, no, for
I don't
real.
like it.
We initially were taking this break from taking shows because we were going to record on, like, it was supposed to be on the 23rd of this month, but that fell through, unfortunately. But, so keep an eye out for some more recorded shit soon.
Fuck yeah. So what's the plan with that?
Well, so at the moment, we've been talking to a good homie. We're trying to do a split with another band. We don't know if that's going to happen or not. So at the moment, if that doesn't end up happening, it's going to be a split. If not, it's going to be, if anything, we're going to release probably just like another sort of EP demo of sorts. It's going to be like about 4 songs, just to like kind of mix it up, because it's crazy. We've only had like the same 6 songs like running on 2 years now, and it's like we still get hyped for it, but it's like personally as musicians, like I'm not okay with that. I want to play some new shit. I'm like sick of the same fucking riffs. Like I want some more riffs.
In Diesel Beast, we're just now starting to write new songs because we had all the singer trauma go down, and that like cut our balls off.
Right? It halts everything.
It does. But I mean, like I totally can sympathize with like getting up on stage and being like, I've been playing this song for 5 fucking years. Like I don't even play it the same way it's recorded at this point.
Exactly. And that's honestly the biggest thing about our demos. Like, we have like a year of just partying and deep element shit, and like that does so much to like us, and like we've just become so much greasier, I guess, and like where our demo kind of sounds a little bit thrashier.
Yeah,
it's like I almost feel like our current sound almost has like a grindcore sludge, just like dirtiness.
There is definitely sludge in there. Like I said that earlier. Like every time I listen to KOMBAT, even if it's not like a particularly sludgy song, I'm like, these guys could sing this shit in a garage through a megaphone while throwing poop at somewhere.
We have a megaphone in the storage unit too.
We do. We
you should utilize that.
And honestly, we do like a lot of those like sludgy breakdowns just for like, because hardcore shows, that's what sells. Like that's honestly what a lot of those hardcore metalcore kids are about. Is just like the parts where you're gonna fucking beat the shit out of someone.
Oh yeah.
So it's like we make sure to blend those in beautifully. Like try to blend them in beautifully with like just our speedy, because like we're all about the speed and like just.
Well, because as a musician, the speed shit's more fun to play, but the breakdown will get a crowd going.
Exactly.
Like it certainly will.
Exactly.
Ass beating riffs are fun to play.
Yeah.
I love just being at a show, just hearing a riff and just start sprinting.
Right.
Just
I remember we were at the Blood Incantation show, and I remember just seeing like AJ's face a couple times. He'd look over at him and he'd just be like, ugh! Like he's.
That's what got me with the Devil's Daydream. Is like I said, the first time I ever saw him was at Krampus Fest, and I was outside smoking a cigarette, and this dude launched into a riff, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
I was outside just because, like, after Blood Incantation, I was like, oh my god, I just need a break. That was so loud. And I remember, like, Necrot started, and I didn't know because I was so out of it. And then I'm looking through this glass door, and just out the corner of my eye, I just see Ray just, like, move all these at the front of the stage. I see Michael Monday behind him, like, just wrecking people. And I was like, I gotta get in there. I gotta get in there.
It's cool. It's cool seeing.
It's weird how the pit will just call to you sometimes.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Quite frankly, dude, like, I'm a little longer in the tooth than you two young bucks. Getting the shit beat out of me just isn't as fun as it used to be. Like, so I will typically hang back and watch a band, but every now and then, like, I'll hear something and I'm like, nope, getting in that pit.
Yeah. As soon as you, like, you get that primo drunk and you just, like, that one beer too many and you're like, oh, it's
I call it my dad beer. It's like, I have my husband beer, which is like the beer after work. And then I have the Carrek beer, which is the beer after the husband beer. And after that's the dad beer. And at the dad beer zone, I kick ass at pool, bowling, and mosh pit.
Damn, that's gotta have the science.
Exactly. I know exactly where my levels are at this point.
That's great.
But but then you get dudes like Alex from Silver Tongue Devil who's like, get him out of a pit. I dare you.
Yeah, no,
if there's
exactly.
a pit, he's getting in that
gonna.
motherfucker.
And also, I do think, I mean, to be fair, It's like I don't see him smoking too many cigarettes and shit. He doesn't. I mean, he drinks a lot, but it's like he's always staying pretty like smart with it. Like,
yeah, like dude,
water
that's
here,
like the one chemical he allows in his body that's bad for him.
Exactly.
And so he's got so much energy.
And that's what I feel like. Just being like 15 and going to like power trip shows, and it's like I'd get my fucking ass kicked, dude. It's like I'd come back with a bloody nose and shit. And it's like it was no big deal. But now it's like I go to shows and like I'll run 3-4 rounds in the pit, and I'm just like I feel like I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to start fucking throwing up.
Right.
Like I'm such a pussy.
I'm at the point now where if we play more than 45 minutes, like my neck and my back starting to tighten up because like I fucking
exactly.
And I don't even know how Craig handles it because Craig does he not headbang from like the back of his fucking toes
he's
or some
just
shit?
like, he's throwing his
that's how he
whole fucking body.
It's like a wave. It's so beautiful. It's badass.
It's insane.
I always get in the pit, and then I'll have that one moment where you get that one hit when you're like, all right, yeah.
Done. Yeah,
That's it. That's it. I just wait for that.
I accomplished what I came here to do.
I'm a skinny fella, so I have to have a different strategy. I can't hit anything hard. You gotta
stay loose. Be a little more
you gotta stay slick.
It's speed versus just strength.
Right.
It's like you watch Ray, it's just a brick house.
That's me.
Like,
Yeah.
exactly.
I take all the punishment until you knock me over.
Just trying to throw it back, but it's like
you and Ray have injured me more times than anybody else.
Right.
I love it. Yeah.
AJ does this one thing where he'll just be running, then out of nowhere just throws back both of his hands back and just like backlines whoever.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna knock anybody over, but you just use them as a
little.
little.
What's funny, the last time I actually got knocked on my ass was at that Krampus Fest show during your set.
Oh, damn, I'm honored.
Because, I was in the pit and I had a friend, she really likes you guys, but she's not really a pit chick.
Yeah.
So I was doing the thing where you kind of just guard her back so she can watch the band.
And not get her ass whooped,
Yeah, and then some dude hit me from behind. I didn't even see him coming. Right. He had just the right momentum and, like, flattened me completely out. But before I even, like, totally hit the ground, somebody had their arms, like, up under my arms and pulled me back up. And I was just like... I felt like I got tackle fucked by a transformer.
That's a good feeling. I've been that guy a lot of times. It's good to feel that hand.
It is, yes. It is, and that is, yes. You should feel safe in most Dallas mosh pits. Unless you're crowd killing at a Diesel Beast show, and I'll punch you in the fucking face.
I remember we played a double wide, and who was playing? I was in the pit for Steel Bearing Hand, and I just remember... I'm just so clumsy. I just fell, and that was like.
Nobody even hit you. You just.
No, I mean, I think I was just trying to look cool and just kind of do like a sideways little shrimp walk, and I just like, I literally think I just tripped over my own legs, and I went down. I was like, no, you should see me. I like. My nickname in track was Ankles. Like, I broke my ankles 4 times.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. Dude. No, I'm clumsy. Like,
I broke it once and I cried like a fucking 4-year-old.
But that was the only... Like, I've gone down before, but like that was the only time I went down. I actually had people like run over me. I remember just being on the ground like, oh. Yeah. And I just remember just going to work the next day. I just felt so stupid because it just hurt when I like laughed or coughed. And I was just like... it seems like you get injured at every one of your shows.
You got stampeded by a couple of 200-pound humans, man. I think that's okay.
Yeah, honestly. That's a good
Holy
time.
shit.
So, the songs that you guys have now, I know you talked about doing a split, or it may be an EP, but like, how many songs are you looking to record?
Well, so we have on the books ready to record 2 at the moment. We're talking about doing like a 3rd one just for shits and giggles because we have just like enough riffs like in the bag. We do also have like back in the day we used to try and do like a cover every show just to try and like keep up keep up the fun a little bit. So we're talking about trying to like do like either an old or even an old demo or like an old cover or something.
All the riffs.
Yeah, just. About
AJ, for people that aren't here and can't see, AJ is showing me his library of riffs on his phone.
All voice memo.
And it just says voice memo 1 through like 1,000.
No, I think I'm up to 400. Let's not get ahead. But yeah, we have. I mean, after we recorded the demo, I don't know why. I think it's because we kind of had something to go off of, or maybe we were just getting in our heads too much. But we just taken a little more time to write stuff, which is nice.
It's not always a bad thing, but at the same time, you don't want to overthink it so that you destroy the emotion.
Yeah, it's a weird level. Like you gotta find like.
So, am I right in assuming AJ, you're the primary songwriter typically, or?
So it's definitely like when it comes to songwriting, it's pretty much like me and AJ are like, all right, bro, let's get together.
Okay.
And like we basically like we just bounce off each other. The first time we ever wrote stuff. So initially whenever I came into the band, I was like. after Todd, or before Todd was like the last member to be like added. So I came in, he kind of had some stuff here and there, and so it's like we sat down for a day and just smoked like so much weed and just like sat there back and forth just like talking and like just going off each other, because he has a very like straightforward kind of like mindset when it comes to his vocals. And then like I always try and like encompass a little bit more of like an over-grasping theme of sorts.
For somebody that sings so harsh, you actually utilize a fair amount of like melody and like riffage in your voice.
I'm hard on him. Like I'll write stuff and I like just firing off lyrics. Like Malevolent Creation.
Yeah, we just wrote a song, and he was like, "I want this to sound like some Malevolent Creation, just like da 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 da." And it's like, can't say no.
It's weird. I'd say, like music wise, it's really Ray Grant and I are pretty much equal. Not that any of us write more than the other, but it's just kind of who presents something first. Yeah. Okay. That's the hardest thing.
So it's like whoever has an established piece of music brings it to the table, and then you kind of go from there.
Yeah, right. Just something
like Ray will say like, "Hey, I've got this sick riff," and then it'll just coincide with the riff that AJ just so happened to has, and so that he has.
That's pretty awesome. That's probably
just piece it together.
That's probably why you guys have such a even blanket of inspiration and influence and things like that peppered throughout, is because like all of you are kind of doing the work, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the funnest part though, is like, it's like I don't want anyone to feel obligated, I guess, like it is a job. I mean, in a sense you do have to look at it like that sometimes, but I want to be having a good time. So it's like, and I do have a good time.
There's really no point doing it. Like I said, we're not going to get rich doing this. If you're not having fun, then there's really no fucking point.
So it's like we try and make a night out of it. We'll go crack open a couple beers and just smoke and like, write and just have a good time. And it's never like anything that seems very forced. It's very organic.
Guys, I want you to like listen to what KOMBAT is doing and like maybe take a couple of pages out. We could all stand to fucking relax a little bit.
Dude, we all told each other, we were just like, as soon as it stops being fun, we're done.
Yeah,
and like right now, it's so much fun. The
last time I said that to myself, I ended up in a fucking ska band for like.
No, but honestly, like one of the biggest things like I've heard, like, and I definitely try not to be like trying to be too humbling with myself or whatever, but everyone like that I've talked to is just like, we just try and be as real as we fucking can be. It's like I don't want to put on any fucking cover like we're something we're not, because it's so easy to put on your gauntlets and just be like, I'm the baddest motherfucker out here.
Right.
It's like that's not what any of this is about, and that's not how it's been since I was 12 years old going to shows. It's like I'm just here to hang out with my friends, drink some beer, watch some great bands, and just have a great time. That's overall encompassing what I do every time.
That is the core of what I think this is, truly. Like, the whole reason this show exists is because I enjoy hanging out with Craig. We have fun and we have good conversations. And we're like, hey, let's get other motherfuckers out.
I woke up this morning, like, I was happy. Like, thanks for
thank y'all so much for
I woke up and I was like, I just get to hang out.
We call it Warlord. It's really just an hour-long metal hang that we
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's just like a little extension of like the community wherever it is. So it's like I worked my fucking 6-hour shift at work today, and I was like, I knew I was going to be able to just come over and drink some beer, talk about metal, and it's like that's all I want to do at the end of the day. For the most part. Right. So it's like I'm glad I get to do it with someone new.
So, no, we're stoked to have you on the show.
Like, no, absolutely, yeah. I was really, because like I said, I don't know if you listened much of our backlog. We talk about you guys.
No, for sure. And I
was like pissed off when you guys got the I Hate God show. I was like, they broke up. These motherfuckers aren't even in a band, and they got the show. I was like, I'm not mad, I'm impressed.
I don't even know.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's just dumb luck, and like we're always trying to like push each other a little bit farther with everything that's going on. Like, anything that comes from the band, we put it back into the band. Oh, yeah. So it's like time, money, like it's all like we all just
your put it back momentum into us, right now is undeniable. Like I remember, like, straight up, I was like, I heard about KOMBAT, and then I saw you guys at the shit house, and I was like, I think these guys are pretty badass. And then all of a sudden, it was like, KOMBAT's playing every fucking weekend. It shows that you want me, you sucker. Right. It was almost like you were like, fuck you, Carrek. And I respected that.
Right? And I do think another thing that we always try and play, like, we do play like as many shows as we can, but we also try and keep it like out of the same city. Like
you can oversaturate and get to the point where
we did that.
Yeah, it happened. Yeah, so it's
and that's a hard thing to do because, like, I don't know about you guys, but like my favorite thing to do is play music.
Exactly.
That's what I wanted to say.
I do it for free.
I think everybody got tired Because I think like we just grinded for like 5 months, and at the end of it, we had like 3 shows, literally like day after day after day.
It's like, why would you want to go see a band today for $10 when you can go see them tomorrow for $5?
What I was gonna say.
No,
It's just
exactly.
like one of those
That's
things.
what it is.
And it's like as
you
much
could
as like a
oversaturate
financial
it.
standpoint as it is too. It's like I want to play for my homies every day. All
It
day,
sucks
but
that
it's
we have
not
to
gonna
think
happen.
about it that way, but you truly do to make it successful.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like I said, this is not a cheap hobby.
Right. Not at all.
It's not even really a hobby. It really is
a habit.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. It's a habit.
I have not paid. Okay, yeah, no, I have not.
It's slightly better for you than a hardcore drug habit.
Yeah.
And
Way more expensive.
and about the same as expense, but it's like
An expensive habit.
yeah, but that's pretty much how I describe it.
I have
It is-
spent a fair amount of cash on drugs in my life. I have spent way fucking more on gear and travel.
Keep it that way.
more enjoyable though.
Yeah.
Way
That's
more
for sure.
enjoyable.
Like
Yeah,
I mean,
you get a lot-
it's a great habit, but
you
it's a
get
habit. Like I think for any of us, like
Certainly more fulfilling.
yeah, there can be a time for any of us where like you're just like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
But it's
I've
like
done that
it's
already.
like very quickly followed up by, oh yeah, this is a great fucking way to spend your life.
Right,
It's like, it's
exactly.
fun.
And
Sometimes people even make logical arguments. Like my parents just been trying to get me to move to Austin for like a
Couple
while
months
now,
now.
and
Right.
each time I'm just like, I can't even explain this, but like, no, I just can't.
Right.
Like, this is what I'm.
Well, Austin too. I don't know what you would find in
Yeah,
Austin
there
ain't
that
too
you're not
much.
going to find here.
I'd be
Yeah.
searching for a while.
Yeah.
And that's
What's
Like-
really interesting
Like
is
Austin
like-
is great to visit. Let me
Yeah.
put it that
It's
way.
fun to hang out on the weekends,
Yeah.
go to South
Good
by,
pizza?
catch some shows,
Yeah,
whatever.
but like,
Especially if you're comparing it to like Denton specifically.
well, and
It's
also like straight up, the metal scene in Austin is lacking.
but it's all over.
I mean,
the place.
yeah, there's like a lot of
100%.
punk. I see a lot of hardcore. It's like, but it's all DIY, so it's like
Yeah.
obviously.
I mean,
bringing
it's
it
there,
into the
and shout out
forefront.
to all the people that are there, grinding
no
it
straight
out.
up. Yeah, no,
It-
Austin's got a
but-
great scene for sure.
But is like Austin is known as this huge music city, which it is.
With
But
lacking in what it should.
yeah,
be. Yeah.
but a big part of that is it's all very trendy shit. And it's people chasing trendy shit. And like any kind of like metal or punk is super duper underground. And so it's like, yeah, you can totally go to some great like house parties and stuff like that in Austin. And you can see some like great like Tuesday night showcases and stuff like
Right.
that. But the 99% of the other clubs are all playing garbage.
Yeah.
And those are the clubs that are paying their bands. It's
Right.
like all of the punk and metal shows. It's like, hey man, we'll play for beer.
Yeah,
it's
here's
like,
3 beer tickets and
Yeah.
some pizza
yeah.
at J&J's.
Oh,
at
that
J&J's.
was too real, bro. That kinda
Speaking
hurt.
of J&J's, our next
Speaking
show
of
is with KOMBAT at
Silvertone
J&J's.
Combat at J&J's?
Yeah.
it is.
Well, it's Silvertone KOMBAT.
Lament Configuration.
Joe, and then Skull Archers. Their
Yeah.
first time
Oh,
playing
fuck
Denton.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
When's that?
Next Saturday, the 6th.
Saturday.
I will be at that show.
Dude,
for
we're
sure.
gonna blow. Like the goal is to literally destroy that place.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good
I
time.
just met all the guys in.
Put your bass player directly into the pizza oven. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
cut you
you're
off.
good. I just met all the guys in Limit Configuration. I can't remember when. We just played with them.
Oh, they're killing
Yeah,
it.
they're such cool guys. I know Grant. Like, so we figured out we were both in Denton. We're just like, how do we not know you guys? Are in
Yeah,
Denton?
like
I'm gonna
Grant's
say
been
this
having-
on the record. Joe Shillage, their drummer, or Joe Skilagi, as I like to call him.
Yeah.
That is maybe the nicest human being I've ever met
Definitely,
in my fucking
and
life.
a primo damn drummer. It's,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Grant and him have been talking quite a bit, and it's crazy. It's like this is like watching 2 powerhouses. Like this is like a battle of the Titans a little bit.
Is that the guy that was wearing the tracksuit?
Yeah.
So
Dude
sick.
can fucking drum his ass
Dude
off.
slays. And it's cool also seeing like, with a band like that, like they're new, obviously since they're all kind of like from the Denton area, it's kind of like with Denton, you have to kind of like take what you can get to a certain extent.
Oh, yeah.
They're a very eclectic group. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like they have like, not to be an asshole, but it's like, kind of like got the dad, and then there's like, just like the front kind of, younger kind of like dudes.
Why are you being an asshole if he's a dad?
I mean, not that
Yeah.
he's a dad,
Why are you
more of
saying
just
that?
like, it's just like out of being
Yeah.
out of being like a deathcore band, it's
Yeah.
like having like the older dad.
It is
drummer,
hard
right?
to
It'd be
portray
like-
yourself as a badass when people know that you have at one point in your life been covered in human shit. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, someone else's.
Yeah,
Someone else's.
Yeah.
Depends on who.
I mean, shitting yourself is a humbling experience.
Yeah, you learn.
Shitting yourself is a humbling experience. Having your spawn poop on your face from a distance, that's very humbling.
Getting that arch.
Like, oh shit, you painted a silhouette on the wall, my son.
Makes you question some things.
Right.
So it's just super cool just seeing like, you know, new dudes popping up every day. It's just like never even knew they were there in the first place.
See, Lament Configuration, because Joe used to play for Monogamizer.
Monogamizer right here.
Yeah,
Love those dudes.
That was
Oh,
great. And yeah, Monogomizer's sick. Cause
Shout out to Randall.
shout out to Randall.
It's actually the first out of town show we ever played was in Ada, Oklahoma with Silver Tongue Devil and Monogamizer. That was a great
Nice.
show. And Oberon.
You
That was
guys
a great
played
time.
Sessions?
Yeah, Sessions. That was
Fuck
a cool
yeah, that
place.
place is awesome.
Only show we've ever played outside of the DFW.
No
It's like
kidding.
because we've never had a van or anything, and we were just like, fuck it, it's like an hour and a half. So
Yeah.
that was a great time. So
No, that's a legit gripe.
First
If
out-of-state
you don't have a
show, I guess.
consolidated vehicle, like not playing out of states, not
convoying up to Oklahoma.
Everybody,
we've done it. It's brutal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
everybody in Monogamizer is so cool and so friendly. Like the first couple times I met them, I thought that they were just pretending to be nice to me.
Right?
And then eventually I was
You're suspicious.
Yeah,
You're like,
I
I
was
know
like,
you're a
what the-
dick.
I was-
No,
I know you're a dick.
Hold up. That's legit though, because when Randall talks to you, you have no idea where he's coming. Because he'll just walk up to you sometimes and be like, "Hey, you're doing a great job."
Yeah,
and it's like,
blank face sometimes.
"Fuck, what is?"
You're like, fuck you, man.
It's like, "Are you being
I know what you're doing.
My favorite thing he ever did, it was at that Backyard on Bell's show, and they play a song, and they crush it, of course, because they're all incredible musicians. And everybody claps, and Randall just goes, "Yeah, thanks." I don't know what you're doing,
What
but
do
it's
you
so
mean?
goddamn. He plays it like he's a wrestling heel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's a pro wrestler. He's the bad guy. He came in to tell you how much your city sucks. Like I don't know. He's so fucking great on the mic. Anyway, big shout out to Monogamizer.
Yeah.
With actually, Monogamizer played most of Diesel Beast's early shows too. So, I mean, I guess we kind of owe something to Monogamizer.
Yeah.
And Randall did our astronaut t-shirt.
That's always, I mean, like, that's always how we've done things, is that, like, when people fall into our orbit and we see them live and they're cool, is we're just immediately like, hey, you want to play a show next week?
Exactly.
Like,
like, let's keep this going.
yeah, for sure. And so we end up, you know, like, playing shows with a lot of bands. And we do try to, like, change it up, but like we want to. It's like you know, like we did a run where we played like several shows together. I'm sure it'll happen again in the future.
Right, yeah.
We've done like runs where we played like several shows of Diesel Beast, and then we'll go like
You guys
6 months or something like that.
Gotta come out to a Silver Tongue Devil Diesel Beast Oberon show.
That sounds like it. I think we may have caught that one time at Abbey Underground, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
Right,
Oh,
those
yeah.
If it happened, I don't
Yeah.
remember. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
you were
another
pretty drunk.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're not even playing a show. We are partying with the audience.
exactly. Just hanging out with my friends, dude. And that's what I love about that for sure.
Yeah, but you know, we were talking earlier about like the songs on your demo now, but obviously you guys play them different than when it was recorded, because
Yeah.
all of the songs in subtle ways sound different now than how you play it. Do you ever go back and listen to your demo and you're like, oh shit, like I'm
we
doing
beat
that.
ourselves up. Like that's
Yeah.
that's hilarious that you said that, because I was literally just thinking about it. I was just like, we have to. I was like, I don't want to send him songs in the demo.
Yeah,
I
I
want to
know.
send.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
it's just so different.
Yeah, you're like, this not really sound like
Yeah,
this.
and like you've played with us.
Oh, yeah.
like, we played with each other so many times that like you know what we sound like.
Yeah.
So like I do that too. I go back to it. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
I
But
just,
no, it is strange when you listen to old stuff like that, because like, you know, I've seen you guys several times now, so like I watched this subtle evolution.
Right.
And it's like jarring to go back and listen to like a demo and listen to the way you play it now,
I know.
because it's so vastly different.
Right.
But I guess, because in my experience, like a song's not really done until you're like 3 years playing it. Sometimes,
Right, yeah,
you know what I mean?
I always tell Grant, I'm like, I don't fully know this song until I hate it.
Yeah, I know for real. Like, yeah,
That is a great quote.
Until I hate it.
for real though. Honestly, we always went back and like just started tweaking stuff, and it's like you listen to like the vocals on the demo, and like whenever we did that, I was literally like 2 days into being into the band. So it's
Right.
like and like before that I had no fucking
Well, I didn't
experience.
realize that was the time
the
frame.
whole
That's nuts.
the whole circumstance of like just how all of us get together.
Yeah,
it's
it's
insane.
It's a
It's
insane.
insane.
You're on a podcast, man. Tell the story.
Okay, so
I mean-
so we'll hash this one. Also, initially we'll start. So I mean, Grant and AJ are the fathers of KOMBAT.
Can I start the story
Yeah,
of
you
what
do.
happened? So a long time ago, a little boy named AJ Ross lived in Kentucky, and his best friend named Grant Omlin moved away one day, and he was very sad. He moved to this really weird place called Denton, Texas, and I still kept in contact with him because I knew that I've known Grant for like going on 10 years at this point.
Not to interrupt.
So-
can I ask
so-
why did he just randomly move to Denton?
Because Denton's the big town.
Peterbilt.
His dad worked for Peterbilt.
Peterbilt is a giant truck
Still
manufacturing
does,
company
yeah.
that has a massive factory here, and everybody that lives in this town has worked there for at least a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So where you guys were at in Kentucky, was it small town?
It was right outside of Louisville. It was
Okay.
like Jefferson Town. So not really. It was just, suburbs.
Kind of the same way Denton is to Dallas.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I love Louisville. It's a cool town, but I just kept in contact with Grant. And when it got time to go to college, I went to UNT, and I told my parents, I was like, "Yeah, no, I just really want to move to Texas to go to college." And the whole time I just had my mind, I'm like, "No, I'm just going down here so I can jam with Grant." And first 2 years down here, I mean, we must have hit up like every Craigslist ad for a guitar player, every Craigslist ad for a bass
That
player.
surprises me because in my experience, you can like throw a rock in any direction.
There's
Find a
a-
guitar
yeah,
player.
especially in Denton, it's like we're goddamn.
Well,
music
you can,
towns.
but in point of that is that does go back to the fact that there's like precious few metalheads around Denton.
Yeah,
I mean
that's true.
it's a growing pool.
And we knew-
but like you could find like 50 guys to play jazz with you here.
I got lucky with Jason, who unabashedly loves Metallica so much
Yeah.
it translated into
But-
his real life.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just kept searching. I remember one day, a mutual friend of ours, we just went to a party, and like Ray was at that party. I've never met him before in my life. And one guy just came up to me, he's like, "Hey, if you're looking for a guitar player, like, you're not gonna find one better than Ray." And I was like, "All right, well that's a pretty good recommendation." And I went over to Ray, and
Random
like at
person
first,
I
yeah,
don't
like
know.
hello,
Yeah.
friend. And at first, like when I first met Ray, like I tell him, I make fun of him. I'm like, "Dude, you look like Charlie Manson," because he did. He still had like his long hair, like, and just a big scraggly beard. And I was like, "Oh my god, this guy's terrifying." And like, and then he just talked to me.
Not a minus, by the way.
Yeah, and then no, but he talked to me, and I was just like, "Oh, this guy's like super chill for looking like Charlie Manson." And we jammed with him, and after like one time, like Ray shreds circles around me. I should not be playing
He was
guitar.
just like, when I stand up on the mountain and bark fire at the
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, but we met, so we got Ray in the band, and we had a different bass player at the time, and then Nathan just moved back. You moved back from Colorado,
Yeah,
right?
so at this whole time, so I was great friends with Ray back in high school. So we were in the same audio video production class. So it's like the second I walked into that class, he had a Lamb of God T-shirt. No, he had a Biggie Small shirt on. He had long
Like
ass
we
hair.
were talking about earlier, like when two metalheads meet in
you
public,
see
we
it
just
and you
immediately see
you
each
lock
other.
eyes and it's like that's it. And so
Yeah.
I saw that first day. I was like, that's gonna be my best fucking friend. And then like share shit. So I went up to Colorado. I was smoking the fattest wizard staff and that sweet nut.
I don't know if you guys have had the pleasure of going out to Colorado, but goddamn, it is Shangri-La for weed. Holy shit, it's nice.
But definitely there's no scene out there that I saw. Like I was living a little bit out of Denver. I was kind of like isolated.
You can't see anything, though.
Yeah, exactly.
There may have been a
So
scene, you
many
couldn't see your own
shit,
fucking
yeah,
feet.
Exactly, for real, yeah. 'Cause I was way too big. But so I initially ended up moving back, and then at that point, my boy Ray was like, "Hey, we're jamming with these dudes, and like, I just think you should come meet them. Just come see what's up." So I went over to their apartment, and it was like Grant and AJ were living in that apartment. Ray was just like already chilling there, and it's like within 10 minutes of knowing them, it was just like we were immediately talking about the bands we all loved. It was Entombed, it was Slayers, Cannibal Corpse, fucking like all just this heavy shit that I've been looking for fucking years.
and then just out there, man.
Yeah, it's like exactly. It's like I've like in like as a child, it's like I grew up watching like fucking music videos with my dad, just being like, I want to do that at some point in my life. That'd be sick. And
The
then
whole
sure
reason
as
Craig
shit-
and I are friends is because somebody else on this planet knew who Candlemass was.
And honestly, I feel it like the first time
I
I saw
listened to
Ray.
so much Candlemass today. That's
They're
sick.
fucking amazing.
Love it.
Why
And
did you not listen to Candlemass?
And the new album.
It's so good.
It's honestly pretty interesting. It's
Even that fucking recut of Bewitched is
So
good.
finish that story and then tell them.
Sorry.
About your Candlemass story.
okay. So essentially, so I came back and it was just like we went and had one jam session. It was like, all right, you're the new singer, and so it's like, oh, that was official. They already had like one show before that. So it's like I came in and I was like, all right, let's do this. Like we wrote the rest of the songs, we recorded all of it in our shitty fucking like tin aluminum foil fucking storage unit. Yeah, dude.
It was
I love your metal closet. I'm sorry.
no,
This is my favorite part about your mythos.
it was so like from my perspective meeting Nathan. Like I don't know, I was just so happy. Like I remember I was just
crazy.
I lived in this like apartment with like this crazy guy we knew, Zach, and I love Zach so much, but you are crazy if you're listening to this.
Shout out to Zach, man. Crazy,
he's
bro.
He's in the Air Force right now. He's one of the best dudes
Is that
I've ever
the
met.
best idea?
Yeah.
Probably.
He's crazy. He's crazy in a good way.
Okay, good.
But yeah, this dude
Productive
shows
way.
up with just a tie-dye shirt with a big cow skull on the front of it, an electric wizard tattoo on his hand.
Hold up.
Like,
You know somebody, because don't get me wrong, I love Electric Wizard, but you know somebody that actually likes Electric Wizard so much that would get an electric.
Right there,
Bro!
motherfucker! Right
Holy
there.
shit!
And like honestly, that was just like my edgy stoner.
No, touche,
like,
sir. No, I
That's a
fucking
badass
know.
tattoo, right?
Respect. It's a respect that I'm showing you right now.
There you go.
yeah, we
Holy, okay, yeah, my bad.
and then we've just been jamming.
Yeah, it's just been ever since that fucking day, man.
I'm
We've
still,
been
yeah.
nothing but drinking excessively, and this was before
It
we're
happens.
21.
You guys
sorry,
are young,
Mom,
your livers
but-
are not kicking
Yeah,
you in
dude,
the
it's
dick
like
I mean,
yet.
I still feel like I'm just living in one really long hangover ever since the first show.
Yeah,
it's
for
not.
real.
I'm gonna
It's a
wake up and
never-ending
it's real.
party.
Do you remember the Rockstar phase? Like, you and I, we could tie one on. We certainly did the other night at Metal Fest. Had a great time.
Right?
But, like, man, if I lived in a 6-month hangover, I would never come out of that hangover. People would be talking to me like, Carrek, you mean that dude in sweatpants with the bottle of vodka?
Right before we left, we were talking to Grant, and Grant was reading the news, and he's just like, "New alcohol that will." Like hangover-free alcohol. I remember he looked at me.
I read that too. I don't trust that shit for a second.
He looked at me and he was just like, "Dude, if that's true, I'm gonna die."
I believe that hangovers are maybe the most important part of alcohol.
Hangovers are saving my life.
The whole reason I drink whiskey is because whiskey tells you when you had
Yeah,
enough.
you know when you're drunk.
You wave it under your nose and your stomach goes, don't do that.
It's wretched.
And sometimes we just keep sailing right past.
Yeah,
Keep
sometimes
sailing right
depends on the
past.
night.
Could you imagine not having that like inner voice governing you? Just like, hey, you can literally do as much of this as you want. Like weed.
Don't stop.
Could you imagine drinking like you were smoking pot?
I'd be so dehydrated and peeing all the time, dude.
Right.
That'd be
It'd be
so
horrible.
Bad.
You
It'd be
would
fun
puke
though.
so much. Everybody would just smell like vomit. Sorry.
Well, but a key difference is you can't drink yourself sober.
Yeah,
No,
that's for sure.
You can't. You can drink yourself asleep, and you can definitely drink yourself into an emergency room.
But you can also definitely smoke yourself sober.
I can
Absolutely.
definitely,
Which
it
is
happens.
weird.
It's interesting, dude. Like, I'll be sitting out on my back porch, dude, and I'll have be on like the third bowl of the day, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I feel fine. What happened?
Yeah, it's like,
Like I can go to the store right now.
Exactly. Yeah. No, for real. Like, and I wouldn't spend over $25.
However, on the flip side of that, if you've got the right strain of tobacco, quotes, then I mean, like you can take 2 hits and wreck your entire
And just
day.
be zonked. That's for sure. And like,
Much like Craig.
and like, I definitely blame my tolerance to, smoking every day for like
you say you have a
7-8
zong?
years. No, I don't have a zong. I
Okay.
wish I had a zong.
I
That sounds
brownwalled a
dope.
zong one time when I was like 17. It ruined my life.
Oh, I
my
damage.
entire life would have been on a different trajectory if I had never taken that specific hit of
Right.
Dr. Coleman.
Fucking destroyed myself. Like it felt like somebody was just stepping on my chest and I was
Yeah.
watching someone play Vice City because that motivates me. I felt like I was gonna fucking die.
That's how I felt the first time I took a dab, and it was like, yeah, it's like
You're like, I'm gonna be the
vice
first
grip on
fucking
your
person.
lungs. Yeah,
the
it's fun
first
stuff,
person that
though.
overdoses
Right.
from marijuana.
I'm gonna die.
I'll be okay
Going
with
to
it.
die.
If I go down in history as that, I'd be okay.
Right.
That would be a pretty epic, like go out, because a lot of
Yeah.
people have really dumb deaths. Like I pulled a Coke machine over on myself trying to
Yeah,
get
Like
free
I
Coke.
said, I'm clumsy. I know I'm gonna die in a stupid way.
Yeah,
I know it.
You're just gonna die trampled in a pit, but what's wrong
either
is it's
that-
not gonna be an awesome pit. It's
Yeah.
gonna be like a Kate Bush pit.
Yeah.
Or like I just went to a Creed show. And I
the
just,
Scott.
Like, I don't even want to be here.
With arms wide open.
I actually like Creed.
Bro.
Get out.
Oh,
Interview's over.
we're done.
And
You were so cool up until that point. Really?
just ruined it.
I got Stockholm syndrome.
It would have been better.
After a while.
Right.
They're just like, hey, do you want to rock with the Lord?
Right.
And I never forget
Alright.
that Scott Stapp called the White House and threatened to kill the president one
Wait,
time.
what?
You haven't heard that story yet?
No.
Yeah, there's an official investigation by like the FBI or the CIA into Scott Stapp if that was an actual threat.
See, I'm really split right now because I'm not a fan of what's going. I'm not a fan of government in general. It's not even what's going on right now. I just think it's all a fucking dog and pony show. But I hate Scott Stapp. So I sort of want him to go away to Guantanamo forever and get waterboarded over and over again. But at the same time, it would be really funny if it's like singer of Creed assassinated.
Right, imagine that
leader.
fight.
This-
Imagine Scott versus Trump.
The only reason-
like a fight of the goddamn century.
Holy shit, Nickelback's here to
That's
kick
the only
my
reason I
ass.
like
And he's
Creed.
singing the whole
They're
time,
just-
be like, yeah!
They're literally a living meme.
Yeah.
Like that's just how Duke can
it's
just
great.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you heard the Scott Stapp national anthem though?
Dude, yeah, what is it? The Marlins Will Fly or something?
Bro.
No, it's the national anthem he
Oh,
sung
no,
at a
actually-
baseball game.
he did
yeah.
that in that one game. Yeah, that's right.
All right, you have literally just inspired the first rule of Warlord Radio.
No
We will
Creed.
not talk of Scott. We will not give Scott Stapp airtime. We will not talk about Creed or Scott Stapp related stories.
You know, I'm
I hope that the CIA takes him out.
I'm just happy that I'm the person that rule has to.
That's
be.
right.
That's
true. We'll carve it in a piece of wood for you.
AJ.
So let's cleanse the palate. Let's talk about good bands for a second. Have you? I got a couple of bands that I've been listening to lately, and I told Carrek about them. Have you guys heard of either a band called Lick, L-I-K, from Sweden, or Firespawn?
I have
Check
not.
out Firespawn for sure. I haven't listened to Lick yet, but
So Firespawn is the original singer from Entombed. It's
Oh.
his new death
happens
metal
to be
band.
Scott Stapp's brother-in-law.
Oh, good old LG.
Yeah.
Damn,
That's
yeah.
cool as fuck.
And
That
it
sounds
is
like a powerhouse
awesome.
crew.
That's
Yes.
all you gotta tell me. I'm gonna
And there's a
go.
band called Lick, L-I-K, and they're from Sweden, and they're very much that kind of dirty, early Entombed, Dismember sound.
Okay.
Yes.
But like they're a young band, so they kind of bring that energy
That's
to
cool,
it.
that youthfulness a little
Yeah.
bit.
It's like before Carcass read Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
So, it was-
I can dig that.
so
Okay.
if you guys have a chance, check out Lick and Firespawn. I've been bombing the rest of my band with their songs constantly.
He like seriously bugged me about Firespawn for like 2 straight weeks, and then I finally, and now I have listened to Firespawn. I've listened to their entire catalog. I do think that their latest album is my favorite.
Yeah.
When was their last album?
Dude, they've only got 2 albums out, and the new one came out. Yeah, I don't know for sure,
Yeah,
but let's
but-
say 6 months ago.
Oh, so they're fresh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
For sure. That's
And
cool.
they're
shit.
super over the top, but they're fucking badass.
Love
But
that.
anyway, like, who are you guys pushing up on that? Like, maybe, like,
I-
what's your most esoteric weird pull?
That's
All right, this one band that I've
Not
found
Kate Bush.
that I
or
keep
Creed.
that I keep listening to, and I'm not gonna say this right, so I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna spell it out. It's Cathelist, which I think I'm saying it right.
What
it's
the fuck?
It's I've never seen a band name like this crazy, but it's CHTHE''ILIST. So
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Cathelist.
You guys get that?
But yeah, but it's
they're,
like
they're
a-
grind, right?
No, they're like crazy death metal.
Okay.
They only have like a 2-song EP. The first song is just like 12 minutes long, like 9 or 12 minutes long, and it's just the dirtiest like death metal I've ever heard. And the vocals are insane because I'm a big I love Demolick. I love Grant showed me this band today that I can't remember, it's Mortal something, but I just love just really really dirty vocals. And this guy he literally just sounds like a subterranean monster.
Right.
It's just like.
Well, that's like Disgorge
Rad.
from
Yeah,
Mexico.
and then
Yeah,
halfway
yeah.
through the song, the guitar player, literally I don't know. I don't normally get super super hyped about bands, but Grant showed me this, and I was like, oh my god, I haven't heard something like this. I don't even know.
Right.
The guy,
Maybe never.
the guy sounds like David Gilmour. If
Yeah.
David Gilmour was in a death metal band, he's doing bar just bends and just
Hell yeah.
and then just shredding at the speed of light. It's
That
pretty
sounds
cool.
dank as fuck.
I think they're French. I might be wrong, but
Crazy.
it's passage into the Zegzathoth.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Right on.
Okay.
So that's the album.
What about you, Nathan?
That's a good question. I guess like the one like really sticks out to me. I guess like as like being like a little bit more of like a lower key band, but still like just bringing the fucking heat is this band Acephalix. So it's like this group. So there's these guys out of Oakland named Vastum. And these guys essentially, like, this is, like, the one band that me and all the dudes in the band, like, we all came together and this is, like, one of our fucking favorite bands. Okay. So all of their music is very, it's slower death metal. All their music is very, it's like they hit a very sexual aspect of, like, their gore aspect. So, like, their album, this one album called Patricidal Lust, it's very fucking brutal, very just dirty. It's one of those albums like you feel so dirty you want to take a fucking shower after.
Spill my seed into my father's tears.
Yeah, it's like emerge from my father. Like emerge from the father's rectal cage.
Spill my seed into my father's gears.
Tears. Like emerge from his rectal cage. Like it's just very intense, and it's like
that's fucking brutal.
That's just, like Vastum and Acephalix, like the Oakland like grind death scene. And that's so like tight.
It's so crazy how much stuff is coming out of there, and like that was kind of really cool because like seen Blood Incantation one time, but actually seeing like Necrot, and actually like meeting cool some people
because the lead singer for Necrot is also in Vastum, so it's like I saw him. That's like one of the few like that was like, I kind of felt a little starstruck, and it's like hard to do that in the death metal scene because it's like there's only a certain amount of people that you actually like feel that kind of attachment to. I guess.
Oh, what's funny about the death metal scene is you can like really feel starstruck about somebody, and then you like talk to them for a while and ask them what they do for a living, and you're like, yeah, you have a shittier job.
Yeah, it's like fuck.
You clean porta potties, fuck. I build them. That's like better.
Right, exactly. You deserve this.
Damn.
Have you guys heard of a band called KTCM out of Houston?
Mm-hmm, yeah, we were supposed to play a show with KTCM back in the day, but unfortunately that like one fell through.
I think that was one of the others because I've been racking my brain this entire time. I was like, they did the I Hate God show, and then immediately after that they did some other show where I'm like, what the fuck is KOMBAT doing right that I'm not doing? And I think that might have been it. You guys are supposed to play with KTCM.
Well, those guys are good buds, and they are awesome. And we've brought them up here like sometimes. They're from Houston, and their shit's like all over Spotify, Bandcamp. But 100%, anybody listening, check out KTCM from Houston. They're a 3-piece black thrash band, and the drummer does vocals.
Hell yeah,
nice.
That sounds cool.
It's
some
insane
autopsy kind of shit.
And he's blasting, and he's like shrieking vocals. It's like, what is happening right now?
What does KTCM stand for?
Dude, they make up new shit every single time. Yeah. The first time we saw him, it was King Tut's Cavemen.
Hell yeah!
King Tut.
Yeah, and then
why are you so funky?
After that, it's something different every time. So I don't even think they know anymore.
That's fun.
But those guys are super cool.
Hell yeah!
And then their drummer, Jake, he ended up touring Europe and the States with Satanic Slaughter.
Nice.
He did like a limited run tour with them for like a month and a half.
Hell yeah!
And now he's back doing his thing.
That sounds cool.
But super cool guys, great band.
I know. It's like now that we finally have like this van, it's like we're just like all we want to do is go on tour. We're itching so fucking hard. So it's like we're potentially something's in the works potentially for within the next couple months, but definitely like we're definitely in the process.
Hit us up because we're right about at that stage. Like we hit mobile and we're looking to book out of town. Maybe we could play a few dates together and like get each other down the road.
Yeah, no, for real. I feel that.
Where would you guys like to go? Like what's in your radar? Like you don't have to give away what your plans are, but like
definitely like Kentucky and Indiana, just because I've lived there.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
But I mean, honestly, anywhere. Like
any recreationally legal state that sounds cool. Honestly, like we're talking about trying to tour our way up to MDF for Maryland Death Fest. So if that's the case, we'll obviously be kind of going more East Coast, which I'm very excited about just because like I more recently have gotten into a lot more like northern, like New York kind of hardcore and like stuff like that. And so it's like I guess I like predominantly was kind of in the West Coast with a lot of like my music for the past couple of years, so it's been really interesting going through this new kind of rabbit hole, I guess. And
so like any bands recently?
Anything in particular? Oh, fuck. Now you're going to put me on the spot.
Yeah, put me on the spot. Could call you out.
Well, I mean, obviously the non-racist Malevolent Creation albums are those ones are, fuck the racist Malevolent Creation.
The early days.
The early days. Back before they were emboldened.
Yeah. I didn't even know that till we were hanging out with Logan one night.
Yeah, no, I was at the bar with Logan, and I was having a drink with them.
He was in a Malevolent Creation t-shirt.
Yeah, and some dude came up to me, he was like, I love those dudes except for all the racist shit they said, and I was like, I didn't even know about it.
No,
So
I have
plot
that problem
fucking
because,
twist.
man, I'm really into Behemoth.
Yeah, exactly, same thing.
There's some shit.
Exactly.
There's some shit.
Behemoth?
Not so much in the music, just shit that Nurgle says to people
just like,
because he's
come
trying
on.
to get a rise out of motherfuckers, but it's like, bro, could have
Normally-
done without that.
Normally he's pretty smart. I haven't heard him talk too much
This
shit
is
like that.
way back in the
Way
day.
back in the day.
This is like back in the church burning days, but even like it's just a lot of anti-Semitism and some other stuff, and it's like, I'm not crazy about that, but I really like your band, so I'm sort
It's
of
the same thing,
here.
like honestly, like Inquisition. That was one of my
Yeah.
one of my favorite fucking bands until that shit went down, and it's just like it sucks. Like having like I don't, it's considering yourself almost like a closet fan. Like I'm not gonna rock any of the merch I had. I'm burnt all that shit, but it's like like and every once in a while I want to listen to fucking Forces Flowing Through an Ever-Flowing Tomb, and it's like I feel so bad.
At least we can all agree on one thing, and I think we can actually close the podcast out on this. Bertram sucks.
Fuck Varg.
So we have been Warlord Radio Podcast. We would very much like to thank KOMBAT for coming out.
Thank y'all.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you guys. We're gonna have you back after you fucking are done killing it with your new recordings and stuff.
Oh yeah, man.
Give us another year, so another year of Grease.
Bertram sucks.
Bertram
Yeah,
sucks.
Bertram sucks, I guess.
Bertram sucks. Hell Satan.
Thank you guys so much. We had a great time, and we really appreciate you guys coming out.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, man.
Yeah.
Nothing to be. Shattered,